Might be a little difficult to see here what I'm doing, so I've switched to another camera. Well, you'll see there's the number 4, and this requires a 3/4 inch wrench, and what you're going to do, the supply hose runs from the injector diagonally back to here, and it'll be this bolt and the corresponding bolt over here we're going to remove. We're also going to have to loosen up the hold down here for the number 4. Once we do that, there's a secondary bolt inside there, and we'll have to get that one out too, and that actually holds in the injector tube. So we're going to go ahead and get that line out of here. You're not going to be able to see anything. So now we're ready. We have the line moved out of the way, as you can see there possibly. I just loosened up the, I believe it to be a 5/16 inch nut on the retainer there for the line, and I've just moved the line out of the way. I believe it's going to be sufficient. Right now what I've got is a 15/16 on the inner bolt. You can probably see it better up here. It's the inner bolt right here, and I'm going to remove that. This one's 3/4, this one's 15/16. They shouldn't be in there that awful tight. That's basically it. For this one, all you really need is a short socket with a low head ratchet, and it'll come off pretty easy like that. So that's it. The only thing else that holds that in is just pressure. Sometimes you can get them with your hand like that. And there is your injector tube. And this one looks like it was cleanly installed, so most likely my injector is shot. Don't really see any issues with it. Just make sure you get all the gunk out of there before you put it back in. As you can see, it get a little nasty. The 2 bolts up here are also the 5/16. I already loosened those up, and you're going to have to remove, I believe it to be the injector rocker, and that'll be my next task. Just to keep our tool count going, that's a 10mm socket I'm using on that, and it's the exhaust rocker. Now what you want to make sure is that there's not actually pressure on this. Typically you would feel some movement in the rocker. The guy who rebuilt this engine has no idea how to set tolerances. This one's actually engaged, that's how I know there's no stress on that one. But these should have at least that much rock in them. And there are just some that are just too tight. I can just tell by going down them that there's quite a few that are too tight, and this is one of them. There's absolutely no motion in it whatsoever. So we're going to go ahead and take this off. And nothing else holds that on. Just remember you have a bridge over here. Might actually be a little pressure on that. Now it's coming up. It's coming up rough. Usually aren't these this difficult. I don't know why that's that difficult. Maybe that's the issue. Have to take a better look at that maybe later. Let's set that off to the side. We have our bridge sitting on top. Set that off to the side. And now we can access the 2 injector bolts. We're going to finish taking these off, the 5/16. You might have to take the entire cover off. I'm going to try with it on. I don't think it's going to work though. Just wiggle this whole cover, this whole valve cover gasket assembly they call it. I think I'm going to have to take it off. I'm going to take off all the rest of these nuts going back. Okay, so what I've done is I've removed the two nuts that hold the injector down. Those are also 5/16. I didn't take the back nuts off of the last injector. I just lifted up the valve cover, and the injector sometimes is in there a little good, but it doesn't really hurt anything just to give it a good pry with the screwdriver once everything is loose. There's two nuts that hold it down, and then you should be able to lift it out by hand. And there's the injector. And actually, it's kind of strange, but I'm not 100% sure he had that in there right. It just always seemed a little bit off. So I'm looking at it and I just can't tell if it was in there correctly. Doesn't look like it's actually been firing. You see how clean the tip is there possibly. But it doesn't look like it's been firing at all. So we're going to start by trying to replace it with the other injector that I have. There's no place locally that tests these. I have to send these out. So there's your injector. There's where the injector goes. Not sure if it's going to focus or not. And it's out. Installations, the reverse removal. The first thing you want to do is you want to set the injector in the hole. Make sure that that hole there is facing towards the back. Once it's set in the hole and it's firmly down, you'll want to put your tube in then and tighten that down. Then tighten down your injector. That's just for proper alignment of the tube. Then you put your line back on, your hold-in nut, and then your line back on, and your wires back on, your rocker on, with your bridge, and that's it. And then you're done. Well, I hope it goes as easy for you as it did for me. Total time from the time I hopped up on top of the truck until right now with the injector in my hands is about 30 minutes. It shouldn't take any shop longer than that. They're going to quote you at Dodge. They're going to quote you for 3.5 hours. You can show them this video. It's really very, very simple to do. This is at most an hour and 15-minute job to do it correctly. Alright, thanks for watching.